James Moore, who's the Chief Revenue Officer at Simpl.fi, is going to be taking us through a presentation here. And James, are you there? First of all, I think the last time I saw you was on a golf course in Lake Tahoe in 2019 in August. And I don't know if you knew this, but you are my koozie sponsor for this show.
Right on. Well, that means the swag is working. Good to see you again. I wish we were in Squaw.
I do too. You don't have any extras of these, do you?
Man, I got so many of those. I've got so many. The swag at this point, we've been around for 10 years, so the closet's full. Whatever you want.
We got to get back to the in-person events, and then this will solve all these problems.
That's
right?
That's right.
Well, listen, hey, we're thrilled to have you. You guys have been doing so much with us, not only online in our newsletters and supporting those, but also in the events. And we're thrilled to have you here today. And I think you're going to be teaching us today about how to customize addressable CTV audiences. Is that correct?
I'm going to sure try. If technology cooperates in 10 minutes or less, I'm going to take you through probably the closest thing to a live demo I can, and in and out.
Phenomenal. All right, well, I'll let you take it away. If you want to pull up your screen there for your presentation, make sure that's looking good.
Okay, we'll do that.
Yeah, it looks good. Yep, you got the full screen. All right, the reins are yours, my friend. Take it away.
Okay, great. All right, well, guys, nice to join you here. It's obviously fantastic to be a sponsor. I wish this event was live. For those of you who've not met me before, I've spent the last 10 years as the Chief Revenue Officer at Simpl.fi based out of Fort Worth, Texas. We're a little over 400 employees, and we're a programmatic media buying platform. About half of my clients are self-service. About half of my clients are buying on a managed service basis and traffic and insertion orders to our client success team. So we're functioning with clients in both capacities. This year, we also acquired Advantage Software, which is a full agency ERP software. They do planning and execution across all media types, including linear, print, and digital. They do full project management and creative management, and they happen to be the accounting, finance, billing, and reconciliation and payments software that's used by nearly 700 agencies in this country. So we're really excited about that acquisition and the future of what our two companies are going to be to do together. So collectively, we've got a little over 1,100 agencies in this country that do business with us. I'm proud to say in February, we crested over 130,000 live campaigns on our platform, which is a fairly significant threshold. There's more than 8,000 CTV campaigns, and I can say with a straight face that in the 10 years that I've been here, we grew a lot when we rolled out our mobile geofencing and geoconversion technology, but the addressable connected TV stuff is growing faster than any product in the company history. So before I get right into kind of how it works, I do want to kind of point out the scope of the data-driven advertising that Simpl.fi supports. Our claim to fame here at Simpl.fi is that we specialize in leveraging time-stamped unstructured audience data to try to perform better, faster on fewer impressions and with deeper insight than you can get in segments. So in short, we'd like to think of ourselves as kind of the anti-segment programmatic platform. We obviously work with over 129 different data providers. We have access to thousands of segments. If there's a data provider we need to work with, we certainly will do that. But most of the campaigns that flow through our platform come to us because they want to work with time-stamped and structured data to try to do some hyper-local targeting or to build custom audiences on the fly and to generate deeper reporting and insights than you can in segment-dependent systems. So specifically today, in the limited time that I have with everybody, I'm going to focus on our addressable solutions. So our household level targeting solution, which by the way happens to be both a first party targeting solution for organizations who've got a robust database of homes they want to target in their CRM system, and more specifically the ability to customize on the fly and see the scale of campaigns as you add and remove data as you're building addressable campaigns. These addressable campaigns can be deployed for display, for video, for connected TV across all devices, across limited devices, and they can be mapped to online conversion events such as sale transactions, form fills such as lead forms, and we can fully map to store visitation and map natural rate of visitation and lift from those exposed to ads in relative real time. So we're real proud of this. So before I take you into the nuts and bolts of it, I just want to, again, just a sense of pride for us in 2020. AdExchanger nominated us for Best TV Advertising Technology as a tech provider category for our addressable solution. And in late Q4, Cynopsis put us in as a finalist for Most Innovation Implementation of Addressable. So again, just really fast growing product. So I'm going to get super technical for one slide, and then I'll take you through kind of the tail end of how this works and as best I can in comparison to like a live demo. So at the heart of this is that my company, Simpli.fi, for years has been a mobile DMP. We've been ingesting among all kinds of data, timestamp mobile GPS data from SDKs across thousands of apps. So what we did is we built a product called Addressable Geofencing. We took the physical address of every commercial and residential address in the United States of America, and based on a partnership we have that gives us regular access to the county tax records, we get the latitude and longitude of the taxable boundaries as defined by the county tax records of every physical address in this country. From there, we build a virtual geofence around individualized addresses, which we refer to as a plat ID. Once we've identified that plat ID, we identify whether it's commercial, what kind of commercial business is it? If it's residential, what kind of residence is it? Is it a single story residence? Is it a single family home? Is it a condo? Is it a duplex? Is it a mobile home? So forth and so on. And then from there, we are looking at the persistently web connected devices that exist within that home. We're looking at a broad range of signals. Like most platforms in the space, we're fully participating in Google's Flock ID program. Live intent IDL process. We're working with companies like TapAd and Intent IQ. We have our own heuristics, but we're doing everything in our power to identify as many web connected devices that are within these individualized addresses as possible, and to definitively identify them as either employees if it's commercial, or residents if it's a residential address, and to unify them against that plat ID. So when we first rolled this product out, it was originally rolled out as a first party audience product. What happened was, like most platforms, we were dealing with companies that had literally thousands of homes they wanted to target in their CRM system. We were going through third-party clearinghouses like most platforms, and every time we did that, they would upload that data, and the match rates would be incredibly poor. Plus, they would charge us for the luxury of the poor match rate. So we were able to take this solution, and our clients were able to take physical address data that they have in their CRM system, so that if they upload, for instance, 1 million addresses, the system converts every physical address to an individualized plat ID and then disposes of the physical address, so we're never in possession of it. And the match rate's almost 100%. It's like 98.5, 99%, depending on the file. And then from there, we can identify whether we want to target with a display ad, a video ad, a connected TV ad, all of that, some of that, so forth and so on. Our clients began uploading this data for both targeting and for exclusion. So we have a lot of clients that will curate audiences in our platform and then upload their first party data and say, I want to exclude those audiences and ensure I'm not targeting those homes, or I want to serve them a different message and that sort of thing. So we originally rolled out this solution as a better, more precise solution to get better scale than traditional IP conversion. We're very proud of that. But what happened is a bunch of our clients came to us and said, I don't have the data. We need you to identify the household. So we could have been another platform that just partnered with a third-party household graph that's buying pre-built segments, but that wouldn't be in our DNA. What we're doing is we're connecting to the data providers, the same data providers, frankly, the credit bureaus who know so much data, some of the largest DMPs who have the data indexed at a household level, and we're curating that data in real time. So let me show you in the 3 minutes I got here. In our system itself, you can go in and you can target by postal code, by city, metro, DMA, by congressional district, by carrier route, zip+4, by state. You can target a single zip code or multiple zip codes, a single state or multiple states. When you put in the location, in this particular case, we put in Phoenix, Arizona, and hit the button, the system immediately returns back a count that tells us there are 2,176,415 individual parcels. It also gives me an estimated device count that I can drop down and see how many desktops, how many connected TVs, how many mobile phones, how many tablets, so forth and so on. From there, we go in and we can refine that based on the property type. Is it a commercial residence? Is it a residential residence? So I use the example, if I was working with a national or regional advertiser who was selling pools, as an example, they would not want to serve a TV ad or a connected TV ad to a consumer who is in an apartment or a condo. They would want to limit the ad exposure to people who are in single family homes. So if I add that to the mix, I can immediately see that now I'm dealing with 1,449,000 individual residential addresses that are single family homes. The visualizations here is a lot like Zillow. You can double click on it and you can drop in further and further, and you can see the footprint of where these homes are laying out in the Phoenix DMA. And then from there, we tap into all the data variables that we can tap into across our data providers. So rather than buying a pre-built segment, on an all-you-can-eat basis, basically grab as many data elements that match your criteria: sales data, intent data, demographic data, financial data. In this particular case, I said, hey, I want to eliminate people who already have a swimming pool, but I want to target them if they have, 1 to 3 children. I could further add an income or other variables. When I do that, the system immediately tells me these are the 521,000 homes that I want to target, and the 661,000 devices that I want to serve ads to. So the idea here is to be able to get real-time feedback on the scale of an addressable campaign, to never have to use a pre-built segment, or if you're running against an audience, to be able to refine it as the audience reaction to the ads change. We can target any device we want to target, that's essentially web connectable. The reporting's incredibly robust. You can take out the API into your reporting software, or we're happy to roll up the data into a series of visuals for our clients. We create dashboards. We do dumps every morning. Really, we try to be incredibly flexible to work with. And so I'll just leave you with this slide. People always ask me, they say, James, so what, who cares? What is it that you're doing that's particularly unique or different than the vast majority of programmatic platforms out there? And what I would say is, most of the platforms, including some of the biggest, are using their planning graph, and then they're mapping to a third-party household graph, and then they're mapping to third-party pre-built segments, and then they're mapping to a third-party attribution. We've essentially unified that by having our own planning, execution, and measurement graph, so that we can get real-time feedback on every metrics. We're happy to traffic third-party measurement, but unfortunately, third-party measurement usually comes on a delay or has impression thresholds. So we've got a lot of stuff built in to do some, to be able to work with these campaigns with more real-time data. So that's it. We're super excited to be a sponsor. I'm grateful for the 10 minutes, and we hope to have a conversation with you and your agency or brand someday soon.
Man, that was like almost to the second 10 minutes. Very well done. You got some questions here, but here's what I'm going to do. Would you be willing to put your contact or your email address in the chat box here? So if anyone has any specific questions, they can ask you, or you can respond. But you're welcome to respond in the chat box here as we continue through the day here, James.
Sure.
But yeah, go ahead and throw your information into the chat so folks can get in touch with you should they want to do so. And hey, man, as always, great seeing you. Sorry under these conditions, but we'll get back to this thing.
No problem. Great event, and thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you. And my beverage will be chilled. That's the most important thing here.
You got it.
All right. Thanks, James. Really appreciate it.